Back when I was in university, I invested all my tuition into this one side hustle and I lost everything. In this video, I'll tell you the 5 side hustles that you should be running away from, and I'll tell you as well the red flags that you should be looking out for. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Byte Jones. Make sure you subscribe so you can come back for more. Now, let's talk about mystery shopper scams. Now, you might think that mystery shopping sounds like a fun, easy way to make cash, right? You shop at Target, you file a report, and boom, money lands into your account. But here is the ugly truth. Scammers have taken this simple idea and turned it into a nightmare for people who fall for it. One case that stands out happened with Target. Scammers sent people fake checks, sometimes for $1,500 or even $2,000 telling them to deposit it and use part of the money to shop and evaluate the customer service. Then they were supposed to wire the rest of the money back to the company, keeping a small amount as their pay. Now, this is the first red flag. If you send me money, why do you need me to send it back to you? That would be my first question. Anyways, as you can imagine, these checks were fake. And by the time the bank realized it, the money had already been wired and the victim was left to cover the entire amount. The same scam happened at Walmart as well. Scammers basically prey on people's trust in big brands, using well-known names to make the scheme seem legit. But here is the deal. No legitimate mystery shopper job is going to ask you to deposit a check and wire money back to them. If you ever get that offer, it's a scam, plain and simple. Now, of course, there are many legitimate mystery shopping companies out there, so make sure you do your research and look for the red flags. Now, let's talk about social media influencer scams. This one is all over Instagram, TikTok, you name it. You get a DM that says something like this: hey, we love your content and we want you to be a brand ambassador for a company. And you're thinking, finally, this is my big break. Somebody's finally recognizing this amazing content that I've been posting for a long time. But then you get hit with the catch. To join the program, you need to buy their product first. That's where the scam begins. Take Bella Grace, for example. Now, this scam reached out to thousands of people, offering them a spot on their ambassador program, and all you had to do was to buy some of their beauty products at a discounted price, and then you start promoting them to your network. Now, people jumped on that, thinking that they were about to become influencers. But once they bought the products, either the products were garbage or they never arrived. And just like that, the brand just disappeared. If a company asks you to pay upfront to join their ambassador program, it's a scam. Real brands pay you to promote their products, not the other way around. So don't fall for these fake fame traps. Let's talk about MLMs, or multi-level marketing schemes. Now, if you've never heard of them, you've probably at least been approached by somebody who is trying to recruit you to join one of these schemes. Here is how they work. They promise you financial freedom, the ability to work from home, and all the success you ever want, just by selling their products. But here is the truth. The real money doesn't actually come from selling the products, it comes from recruiting new members. MLMs like LuLaRoe or Herbalife are classic examples. On the surface, they're selling real products, leggings, diet shakes, whatever it is. But behind the scenes, the big push is always to recruit more people. You're not really a salesperson, you are basically a recruiter. The more people you bring in, the more money you supposedly make. But here is the thing. Most people don't make any money at all. In fact, most people end up losing money. They get stuck with inventory they can't sell and trapped in a cycle of constantly trying to bring in new members just to make money. I remember LuLaRoe, for example, you had to invest nearly $10,000 in inventory before you could become a member, and you couldn't even choose the inventory that you wanted. They sent you some random thing, and I know the company has since tweaked this, but I still think what they're offering to people is an outright scam. Now, of course, somebody is going to tell me about somebody they know who made a lot of money doing this. But do me a favor, ask them, how did they actually make the money? Did they make the money from selling the actual products, or did they make the money from recruiting new people. And actually, the people at the top, the ones who get in early, they're the ones who make money. If you're being asked to recruit more and more people just to make a profit, it's a pyramid scheme in disguise. Run away as fast as you can. So Forex trading. Forex trading is not a scam. Let me just make that clear. Unlike the scams I just mentioned earlier, it's a legitimate market. There's people out there who are making real money trading currencies. But here is the problem. A lot of people get lured into Forex trading because they think it's easy money. They see some guru online who are basically selling a course or offer a new membership to some exclusive group that will send you signals, and they tell you that basically all you have to do is to copy their trade to become a millionaire. But the reality is, Forex trading is very volatile. Now, there are obviously some very legit traders who know what they're doing and they make a very good living from it, but it's very risky. People often over leverage themselves even without realizing it. One bad trade can wipe out an entire account. I've looked into Forex trading myself, and honestly, it's not something I'd ever recommend to anybody because it's an emotional roller coaster. It's very volatile. I know myself, and I know that I'd end up making bad decisions even though I've got a good grasp of all the risks. So while Forex trading isn't a scam, it's not for everyone. If you're thinking about jumping in, just know that it's not easy money. You could lose everything if you're not careful. Now, let's jump into the world of cryptocurrency. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all cryptocurrencies are bad. In fact, most cryptocurrencies are legit. But the scams in this place, listen, they are a different beast. For example, I came across an app called ITP. This was one of those too good to be true crypto schemes that promised to double your money in just 28 days. All you had to do was to invest $100 and they claimed they had some quantum computing algorithm that would magically turn it into £200 by the end of the month. Newsflash, nobody, and I mean nobody, can guarantee this level of return regardless of the computing power they claim to be using. This had scam written all over it. This company's execution was flawless because, you see, they made users feel like they were in control. The process was simple. You were pressing a button on an app 5 times a day, and you're waiting about a minute after each press before you can press again. The more you did it, the more you felt like you were actually making real money. They also encouraged people to recruit new members, promising commissions for every new member you brought in. It was just your classic pyramid scheme. And when it was flagged to them, and I say them because I'm not quite sure who them is, because these people, as you can imagine, never actually showed their faces. Nobody actually knew who they were. But anyways, they would say, no, this is not a pyramid scheme, because you see, you can make money without recruiting anyone by just doing your daily quantizing. You would, in theory, double your money every 28 days. So this is what they used to try and convince people that this wasn't a scam. And for a while, it did work. The people who got in early made money and cashed out and became walking, talking proof that ITP was the real deal. But like all of these scams, the people who joined later, they got burned. The company even kept on coming up with clever incentives to keep users reinvesting, offering to triple or to quadruple any new deposit that you entered into the scheme with. Eventually, as you can imagine, the entire thing collapsed and the company disappeared without a trace. Because all the money that was invested was just sent to a crypto wallet, it was impossible to trace who was behind it. ITP wasn't the only one, and it will not be the only one. There are hundreds of apps just like this. And when one disappears, another one pops up with a new name, a new story, but it's the same old scam. And what's worse, even smart, savvy investors get caught up in these schemes thinking that they can beat the system. Newsflash, you can't beat the system. Believe me, I've been there. These scams are designed to take everyone's money in the end. So when you see a crypto app offering unbelievable returns, trust me, it's not worth the risk. This side hustle is not the one. So in university, I got burnt with a side hustle scam that nearly ruined my life. Now, because I'm always looking for the next side hustle, trying to make more money than last time, when a friend introduced me to a great opportunity that promised me a 25% return on my investment every month without doing anything, actually, that was the first red flag. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Now, a lot of these side hustles as well will come from your most trusted circles. But anyways, it was marketed to me as this reliable way to grow money fast because they were investing in things like Forex and commodities. And I thought, why not? This sounds like an easy side hustle, and in just a few months, I could double my money. So, instead of paying my tuition fees right away, like my parents told me to do, I took a massive risk and I invested a big chunk of that money into the scheme. I thought, of course, I can make enough money in just a few months to cover all my fees and then some. How wrong I was, because very soon the entire thing came crashing down and I lost everything. All my money was completely gone and I was left scrambling trying to figure out how I was going to pay my tuition fees, and even worse, how am I going to explain to my parents that I'm on the brink of being kicked out of university because I gambled the money that they sent me for my fees. But anyways, somehow I managed to cling on. But for me, that was my first brutal lesson in not being gullible or stupid to jump headfirst into every shiny new money-making opportunity that I come across. Some of these opportunities are just outright scams. So this one was basically just a Ponzi scheme. And these schemes, they thrive on trust and they lure people in with claims of safe and high reward investments in things like Forex, cryptocurrencies, or commodities. A great example of these scams is the Bernie Madoff investment scheme, or Ponzi scheme I should say. It's perhaps the biggest one in history. Now, for years, Madoff promised steady high returns using supposedly high sophisticated trading strategies, but in reality, he was just operating a Ponzi scheme by using the money from the new investors to pay off the old investors. And when the financial crisis hit in 2008, the entire thing collapsed and he lost investors over $65 billion, devastating families, charities, and normal everyday people who invested and trusted him. In these so-called high investment schemes, there are no regulations, there's no insurance, everything is just a gamble, and your money could be gone faster than you know it. So it's a lesson to remember: if somebody promises you incredible returns with zero risk, do not do it. High returns do not come without risk, and often the only people making money are the people who are running the scheme. So this is something that you should definitely stay away from. So how do you avoid falling into these traps? It's simple. If it's too good to be true, it is all the time. Always trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. You need to know who is behind it. If you can't verify the people who are running the show, then that's a huge red flag. If something has recruitment-based earnings, it's a classic pyramid scheme and you should run away from it as fast as you can. Always do your research. Always look into the company or investment before you dive into it. All the ideas that I share on my channel are always legitimate business opportunities. I never share anything that has a hint of being a scam. So if you want to watch a video that has some legitimate side hustles that are not scams, watch this next video here. I'll see you there.